Welcome. This is Alberta to Arizona. I'm your host and real estate investor Tracy Gray, and I'm here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, with professional real estate agent Devin Gray from eXp Realty Group, and then also from Mogul Realty Group. And then down in Phoenix, Scottsdale area, we've got the beautiful Diane, who is also a professional real estate agent, and she is with Coldwell Banker. And the topic is an easy one today because when you're in Canada or in the States, lots of people are already decorating their houses for Christmas, even though it's November. And I just wanted to know how that plays an effect on real estate. Like, do you recommend having your house decorated Christmassy? Does it help sell it in Edmonton, in the States? And then, Diane, are you seeing as many houses decorated and Christmas lights and all that already as we are?
Oh yeah, August. I think the Christmas decorations were out in the stores.
El
And
Costco has even their Christmas baskets out in August.
yeah, so we like it down here. When you're showing a home and it has Christmas decorations, as long as it's not crazy, it just really gives a festive feel, and it can really help people imagine how they would be living in the house for holidays and stuff. So I think it's really great. It really slows down here during our Thanksgiving is coming up next week.
Right.
Um, oh yeah, I should talk to you guys about that. Yeah, we have Thanksgiving next Thursday, and so things typically pretty much slow down. People are focused on the holidays. So, but always a great idea. Leave your Christmas decorations up, and I mean, who doesn't love Christmas? So,
Well, yeah, it was a Thanksgiving down in the States that created the whole Black Friday thing because you guys are smart. You have your statutory holidays on a Thursday, so then everybody just also takes the Friday off.
yeah.
And now we're doing that up in Canada. A few years ago, people were like, Black Friday, what? But that's a big thing for us
Yeah.
now.
Well,
And they do
Boxing Day was always huge, isn't it, for
uh,
shopping?
Black Friday
It's
just started becoming a thing
well, Black yeah,
for us.
Black Friday's been probably big for about 10 or 12 years now. I think it's getting close to being as big as
Mhm.
Boxing Day. They're probably just neck and neck now, but yeah, Boxing Day is still a massive. It's almost like they call Christmas Day Boxing Day Eve because people
Because
will
it's so
be,
big.
yeah, they'll be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, standing in line at Best Buy to get that door crasher 70-inch screen TV for $500 type of
Well,
thing.
when is your Black Friday though?
We run at the same time as you. Like your Black
Mhm.
Friday is the day after your Thanksgiving, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
just wasn't
we
sure.
Yeah.
basically just have adopted it and we run it the same way. And then now we get again coming back to the electronic stores. It's Black Friday month. We're gonna run Black Friday sales the entire month of November. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
as big up here, I think, as it's become down in the United States because, of course, the shopping, the businesses are going to latch on to something like that if it
Mhm.
means that people are going to be coming in. And same thing with Cyber Monday and all that stuff. So we obviously just don't have the holiday, but
Because your
it's still,
Thanksgiving is earlier.
yeah, but still big for shopping.
So people here line up on Thanksgiving to get into the stores the night before, and
Oh,
a
sure,
lot of
of
the stores
course.
Oh,
open
right.
up at 6 o'clock Thanksgiving night. Like it's getting crazy.
Uh,
And
it's
now, yeah, we have the same thing too. It's like because I have to go to a wedding today, and so of course, I got my dress yesterday, and they're all like Black Friday sales and stuff. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's Black Friday month.
yeah.
Mhm.
But just my thoughts on just Christmas decorations. Back to the initial comment, I find when people ask me that, I always try to find the pros and cons because there seems to be always pros and cons in everything to do with real estate. So of course, I would agree that it's going to make the house look amazing. I think people should decorate absolutely, but I would also tell my buyers, there's a lot of stuff up on the walls and a lot of things potentially getting hidden. So let's keep that in mind. And we might want to peer behind a few wall decorations and stuff like that. But no, for sure, I think anything to make a house look more cozy and homey and inviting. Certainly, Christmas does that. The only thing that I do recommend as well, if people are looking and know far in advance, I will tell them, let's get some pictures without the Christmas decorations because if you don't sell it and we get through Christmas, we're going to have to be taking more photos anyway. So let's try to get that stuff done. I mean, obviously, if somebody gives you a call and they've already got the Christmas stuff up, there's not much you can do about it. So you're probably back in there on January 3rd or whenever they've got it down anyways. But either that or, lower the price enough that you get an offer before Christmas, I suppose.
Right. Because people will be like, it's June and you've got Christmas pictures. How long has this place been on the market?
This is a thing that we have to be very cognizant of, that you don't have to worry about down in Arizona, but seasonal exterior photos. There's nothing worse than, having a house that goes on the market, say early March, where there's still lots of snow, and all of a sudden, 2 months later, which really isn't all that long in a buyer's market, and this house is still on the market, and you're flipping through MLS and going, oh, clearly this house has been on the market for a while, because it's, the Christmas lights are still up and it's the snow all over the place. So we do have to be cognizant of that, and we do go around and take seasonal photos to match, and we only have to have one external photo on MLS. So you might have your regular ones that are in whatever season when it was taken, but your first photo, if that's what you want, you should have at least one that matches the season that you're in. So,
and then do you put sorry to interrupt. Do you put one for in the wintertime so people can see how the house looks in the winter?
We not so much that. It's more about hoping that they've got some summer photos, especially if they've got an amazing backyard with lots of flowers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We'll try to see if they've, can you go through and it won't necessarily have the same quality, but it's still important to have it on there to say, hey, this is what the house is going to look like in the summertime. Or and then also we'll try to have some photos just put on the kitchen island or on the dining room table that says, some people do like a photo album and various things like that, just to give people a sense of what the place looks like. If the backyard, for example, is a huge selling feature, but it's January and it's covered in snow. So we'll definitely have to think about those things.
That might be a good lead. Oh, sorry, Trace.
I was going to say, what it looks like with snow isn't the selling feature. People want to know what the landscaping is underneath it, if it's nice underneath it, or if the snow is hiding some things that you don't want them to see.
Yeah, it's like even just another quick thing. I know you've got a point here, but it's where, a day or, potentially could be as much as a week after a fresh snowfall, you're going out and doing viewings. You're walking up to the property and you're trying to start from top down. Well, you've got no clue what the roof looks like in terms of condition. And even from the standpoint of, if you hire an inspection, some inspectors only use drones, and the drone isn't going to pick up anything. The person that we use, he actually will get up, even if there's a foot of snow on there, and he'll brush away like a 6 foot by 6 foot area to kind of get a sample. But he will say, well, I'm doing the best I can by looking at a 6 by 6 foot sample of what the roof is like, but I couldn't tell you what the entire roof looks like. So another thing as well is in terms of potential foundational leaks and stuff like that. When it's minus 25 out and the ground is frozen, it's difficult to know whether or not there's any seepage in the foundation and stuff like that. So one of the best times for inspectors that they like doing inspections is during a rainstorm or a day or two afterwards, when the ground is really saturated, because if there's ever going to be some seepage in the foundation, that's when you'll find it out.
So they won't make the seller shovel the snow off the roof?
No.
Oh, no. If anything, actually, like, that's something that the city actually encourages people not to do, to go up. Like if we get a heavy snowfall, there's companies that have the professional equipment to go up there. They don't want people falling off the roofs, and that happens a ton. Like if we get a heavy snowfall and there's lots of snow up on the roof, lots of people, of course, they're just going to go up there and shovel it off themselves, and they don't brace themselves in. They don't have the proper footwear. They don't have the proper equipment, and off they go, and they break their leg and stuff like that. So they really do encourage people not to do that and to hire a professional. So
you could they could ask you to get a professional company to clear off the snow and then inspect it. Would that be
that, for sure? That definitely could be a request. I don't see it too often that happens, but it's just something that people have to be kind of wary of. Luckily, if it's a good inspector and they go up, they're going to pick the south facing side of the house where they gets the most sunshine, that potentially will get the most abuse from the sun over the years. if it looks okay there, then it's usually going to be okay everywhere. But certainly some challenges for sure. There's definitely different ways to deal with it, and sometimes there's not much you can do about it other than just knowing that it might be a potential concern.
So while you were talking about getting the pictures for the winter time in the summer, I thought that was a good lead generator. A lot of people who aren't agents that are watching, so a lot of times we'll do door knocking. Realtors will go door to door and knock. So I think that would be an excellent way to get leads, is to say, look, we're going to take pictures of your home here in the summer for when you decide to list with me in the winter. Mm-hmm. Isn't that a good way in?
That is very good. Very well good. Done. Well said. Yeah, absolutely.
I shouldn't have said it out loud. Nobody else take it. That's Devin's thing.
I know everyone's going to steal it.
Yeah, for sure.
Diane,
trademark it.
Yeah, trademark Diane.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a good idea though?
I do think so. Yeah.
You plant the seed.
Funny enough, it's even something that could be not just for them, but just I'm sure that there's some photographers that probably would see that as a good opportunity just to follow up with realtors, because not every realtor uses a professional photographer. Some of them just go around with their cell phone, and a lot of times, I mean, the cell phone quality is good enough if you're just going to take one photo.
Are you looking at my face? I'm like,
yeah. you can usually tell. I was gonna say you can always tell. You can usually tell.
Well, especially like some people are. I guess I should qualify. Like some people are still rocking an iPhone 5, and so of course the camera quality is going to be a lot poor. You can definitely tell. Like we all use a professional photographer, but not every realtor does.
Yeah, we have agents here that just use their cell phone. And I don't know how expensive photos are there, but they're like $120 for 25 photos from a professional photographer here.
Yeah, ours are about $250. They do, I mean, they'll take 80 or 90 photos. You're only allowed 50 on MLS up here, but they'll also do we have a residential measurement standard, basically. And so there's certain parameters you have to follow depending on the type of property. And so some agents, along with taking pictures on their iPhone, they've got a tape measure and they're out there all afternoon measuring away. Our photographer, the camera that he has is about $5,000, and it does three things. It obviously takes the photos. It does the residential measurement standard by just a laser, and he just goes room by room, and it electronically measures it out. And then he also does the virtual tour, the 360 virtual tour. So he spends about an hour and a half in a 1,200 square foot house. And I wear this like a badge of honor for him, especially because we deal with investors, and so we do look for the dated houses, the granny houses and stuff like that. And I do get a lot of comments about the photos make this house look way better than it is. And I'm like, well, then he did his job because he got you to the property.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everyone thinks they do that on purpose. Well, that's what their equipment does. Do you know what I mean? With lighting.
Yeah, that's right.
Makes it look as good as possible.
Yeah. Like, especially a vacant house, and all he's doing is taking pictures of walls and floors. It's just, it's the lighting that will, and he's very specific about, no photoshopping and stuff like that. He says, I will not Photoshop something out. Like if there's a gash along the side of the cupboard or something like that. It's like, oh, can you just Photoshop that out? No, because it's there. Yeah. And it's my credibility. So he won't Photoshop
yellow patches on the lawn, stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Leaves it as is.
That's right. Yeah. We had I had to get photos taken at a listing. So I went to my clients 3 times to prep the house. Let's make sure, get the tissue paper off the back of the toilet, get all the bathroom rugs up. I don't like any of that in the photos. People want to see the floors and all of that stuff. So he moved, his garage is packed with stuff because he's moving, and he goes, I'll move my truck over to the side so they can take shots of the front. Perfect. So, I don't like to micromanage the photographers. They're creative, so I let them kind of do their thing. But I got a newer photographer, and so we ordered drone shots, twilight shots, which looks really good when the sun is setting, gives beautiful lighting. The golden hour here, we have incredible sunsets here in Arizona. And so I get these pictures back. So this was more than $120 because of the drone shots and all that stuff. It was a lot more expensive. And I look and all I can see is this cherry red truck. Like, you don't even look at the house. On the drone, there's one truck that's bright red, which is my client's. And I told the photographer, you know, he was happy to move it. So, so they ended up photoshopping the truck out. I'm like, thank goodness, because it's got this beautiful desert landscape and this bright, no one's looking at the house. No one's looking at the White Tank Mountains. They're looking at this bright red truck. And I'm like, do I have to be there and micromanage you guys, please? So they were great.
And that one, because you can move the truck, right? So that makes sense to Photoshop it out because it doesn't need to be there.
Yeah,
but
as opposed to
if you start photoshopping stuff that's not going to change when you buy the house, then that's getting cheeky.
Yeah, for sure. You can't lie and be false, for sure.
I kind of want to see this red truck now. Like, I just have
I'll show you the pictures. That's about the color of my face when I was looking at them going, okay, now we're going to get the listing on late. Someone's got to go back out there and shoot these again. But they got them back pretty quick, the company. So it was a little bit of a rookie mistake. And I don't like micromanaging the photographer because it's a creative process, right? So you don't want me going, did you take this? Did you take that? But I'm like, okay, now I'm going to be out there. Did you take this? Did you take that? Did you move everything out? Like, you think you cover everything as a realtor, but anyway, just a funny story.
And different people see things and don't see things, for sure. And we've seen that as well. I mean, we have seen photos where basically there's a really nice tree in front of the house, and so that's what the photographer focuses on, because it's like a really nice tree. Say, well, you can't see the house. The house is, the house is behind the tree. We're not trying to sell the tree. We're trying to sell the house. So
there's like 4 pictures of this tree.
Yeah, let's move around so that the tree's kind of just on the corner of the photo.
Right.
But luckily, again, it's not that that's the only photo. There'll be 7 or 8 exterior shots, and from different angles and you'll pick 1 or 2.
For sure.
There's just, in this case, there's just a lot of the tree.
That's funny. Yeah. And our photographers don't move anything either. Like, some might, but a lot of them don't. So
most don't. And I get it, because their time is valuable, and it's all about how many houses can they fit in every day. So I really do. I prep because it's their stuff, right? I prep the sellers a lot in regards to making sure that I just say, well, if you're planning on moving, why don't we start that moving process now?
Yeah. Well, and I
that stuff out of there.
I sound like a nag, right? So I told my client, this is why you're single, because I'm nagging. And then I get the pictures back, and there's the Kleenex box on the back of the toilet. He's like, Diane, does it really matter? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, it does.
I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah. Well, especially because it's just, and people go, they don't think this. It's like they do. It's like someone's looking at that cleaning box and going, oh yeah, that person grabs Kleenex out of that, blows their nose, and throws it in the trash can, or who knows what they do, and that's gross, and I don't want to buy that house.
It's
you never know.
Cream off the counter.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, you use it, but you don't need to show everybody that you use it.
Yeah, so
and it's not going to help sell the house.
Right, counters clean.
One of the worst that we saw, there was a bungalow for sale here in Edmonton, $650,000. But the tenant in it was older. And so these beautiful pictures of the house, and then they have this big walk-in closet, and it was stacked to the ceiling with boxes of Depends from Costco.
Oh yeah, and that was in the photos. That was nice.
That's in the photos. Yeah. So that wasn't one of our properties. We just saw that.
We were just flipping through MLS looking for properties for a client. And it's like,
you have to wonder why some of these agents, like, why? Oh my gosh. This is what I mean. They're the ones that are taking pictures with their cell phones. They take pictures of Depends too.
Well, and the other thing too, I mean, like as I mentioned, sometimes he'll take, and there's only so much you can do sometimes. I mean, different people have different levels of cleanliness and staging and stuff like that. But the ultimate thing, like I sometimes I'll be given 50 or 60 photos. Sometimes I'll drop it right down to barely 20 that we'll use because of certain things that are in there. And one of the things that we learned that I actually find is a really good tip, and we will talk to people about cleaning out their walk-in closet. They'll stage their master bedroom beautifully, and it looks like a show home, but then the people will open up and they've got every last set of clothing that they've ever bought just hanging over in this walk-in closet. And the comment from my buyers is, oh, this closet's small. It's like, well, it's large. It's stacked. So the stat is that, again, that 80-20 rule that everybody wears 20% of their clothing 80% of the time. So I will say, look, again, why don't we start the moving process? Why don't you pack up the stuff that you don't wear, especially, I mean, if it's wintertime and you got all your summer stuff in here, let's get it out of here. Let's make this closet look big by dropping things down. Chances are you're not going to miss that stuff anyways. And it makes it so that it like you said, just again, the benefit of being on the buying and the selling side, you know, you have a buyer come in and say, oh my gosh, look at this wonderful, beautiful, large, massive master bedroom. And then they open up the walk-in closet and they feel like stuff's going to fall on them. So
yeah, no. And I tell my clients, because a lot of them will be like, should I clean the closets completely out? And I say, no, because the closet's doing what a closet's supposed to do.
Right. Yeah.
Store stuff. You just, excellent point. You just don't want it jam packed where it makes it look absolutely smaller. So yeah, I agree. 1000%.
I find that, you can kind of get away with stacking the garage up. I think the only negative that I find with, you know, kind of like if you're getting ready to move and putting everything in the garage, you know, it's like, oh, it looks like they're ready to go. Looks like, you know, might be able to shave a few extra $1,000s off. They're clearly ready to go. But I would rather see, you know, items packed in the garage than, you know, making the house feel small, feel cramped and stuff like that. So
for sure. And down here, we do termite inspections. So when people stack their stuff in the garage, I make sure that it's in the center and that the walls are clear. Otherwise they're going to say, hey, you have too much stuff in your garage. And
there's definitely something we don't have to do. There's no termites up here.
We do have carpenter ants though, but they're not as common here as what you have termites down there.
Termites. Yeah, ours are different than even California termites. So California, they have to tent the house because those termites will take it down in a matter of days or weeks. Here, ours are pretty.
Wow. What do you mean by tent the house?
Well, to treat it, they actually put a tent over it and just.
And then they bug bomb it.
Geez. Yeah. And here, that's not the case. They say down here, it's not a matter of if you get termites, it's when. But we have a lot of California buyers that get pretty nervous because they're like termites. And we're like, it's a completely different termite here. So easily treatable and nothing to panic about where it's
not as severe. They don't. That's interesting. We don't, because again, with all of the Canadian buyers that, you know, going down in California, Arizona, I don't think I've ever come across anybody saying that they've had a termite problem. But I imagine that was because you've obviously found a way. They can still be a problem, but there's obviously treatments for it that if anybody probably suspects it even at the beginning, you're going to start treating it. Is that what happens?
Yeah, and it's probably not normal, you know, conversation because nobody wants to tell anyone their rights.
Right? Yeah,
they never sell it. No. It's completely different. So really neat.
That's fair enough. Do you have a bed bug issue down there? Like, I wouldn't say that's an issue.
Well, it's a big issue for people that get it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, since they changed the pest, you know, the you know, took out the DEET and all that stuff, you know, the bed bugs have kind of made a resurgence in the last 15 years. And I know that can be a challenging one because it instantly makes people think, oh, you must be extremely dirty. But they can.
No, it's the company that came in from the airport.
Yeah.
From whatever country that brought them in.
That's right. So, my next door neighbor, or, you know, the fact that, they hopped on my luggage and came home with me, that kind of a thing.
Yeah. So people will put their luggage, you know, in the garage for a couple of days. They won't unpack right away just to make sure that.
That happens here as well, especially in the wintertime. You just stick it out there in the -5 garage, and I'm sure the bed bugs will not enjoy it out there too much.
Yeah. So. Do they treat them up in Canada with heat like they do here?
They can. There's different ways to treat them.
There's a chemical one and heat.
Yeah, you have to go back again a few times because it doesn't necessarily get all the eggs, and even if one egg gets left behind, you can have them just all over again. So that's why it's so hard to treat, and especially condo buildings. You get them in a condo building in one suite, and they can just.
What a nightmare.
Yeah, so if they're found in one suite, basically they go up all around and below. And so basically it'll affect about, if there's a suspicion of bed bugs in one suite, it'll probably affect as many as 10 suites.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
We're just giving people
all the suites multiple times.
Yeah.
And we're giving people all the good news.
Yes, yes.
Just thanks
Buy
a
a
lot.
house in Edmonton.
This did start off as a Christmas question,
That's
didn't
right,
it?
it
Were we
was.
talking Christmas?
And we don't have our Christmas stuff up yet.
Hey,
so-
Christmas, you got bed bugs.
Ho, ho, ho.
And termites.
Yeah, and the treatments are expensive. Like we're talking about how you have to do multiple treatments. It's not cheap. It can be thousands of dollars to treat it, and then you hope that gets rid of them. But, all right. Well, I don't really want to end on a negative note like that. Christmas was a nice conversation.
We've only heard of other people getting bed bugs.
Are you sticking around for Christmas, Diane? We've got to wrap up here, but
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't know yet. Life's a little crazy, so I
Do you
should
have
come.
big plans for Thanksgiving next week?
Oh yeah, it's the biggest night out of the year here. So Thanksgiving Eve is the biggest party in the valley. So the Monte Lucia, which is like a 5-star resort here in Paradise Valley, has a band, and it's like everybody gets dressed up like it's New Year's Eve.
Oh wow!
It's my favorite night of the year. So that, and then Thanksgiving Day, just going over to friends. I already had one Friendsgiving, and they go all out. Let me tell you, my friend Ashley had a Friendsgiving, and we were wearing turkey hats. I should show you guys the pictures because it's
see
crazy.
it.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So I'll put it, if I put it on Facebook, I'll put it in the comments. But all the guys are wearing turkey hats and the craziest hats and stuff. And remember the Friendsgiving? Ashley gave us all an ornament at dinner with the turkey with the little hat and sunglasses on it. I'll share the pictures and stuff. So we're already in full speed ahead. So
great.
Great.
Oh, sounds like fun. All right. Well, if anybody has questions on buying or selling or investing in real estate down in the States, Diane, how can they get a hold of you?
Sure. My email is can'trememberheremail@gmail.com. My website is thatrealestateshow.com. And my phone number is 602-620-2277. And my name is Diane Brennan.
And Diane's Canadian too. So she can answer questions also about the real estate market in Canada. And then you're Italian now too, officially. So
yes,
a worldly person.
I cannot answer questions in Italian though about Italy yet. So
okay,
save those for later.
Yeah, next time. We'll quiz you next time. And then Devin, people do have questions on real estate in Canada, or especially here in Edmonton.
So we handle the entire Edmonton and surrounding area. We're with EXP and the Mogul Realty Group. You can reach me on email at Devin, DEVIN, @mogulrg.com. And my cell is 780-951-9279.
Great. And that wraps up our show. Hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving if you're American, and we will talk to you next week.
Happy Black Friday if you're Canadian.
Happy Black Friday. Bye.